sunscreen that's on you right now. So I've been listening to all of our episodes.
I have too.
We're really good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we are. So here's something I'm throwing out to everybody. I'm surprising JP with it. Throw, THROW, at doordisc.com. Send us in some questions. Send us in ideas. Send us in topics. Send us in your hate, your love. Just send it in because we want to talk about it on air. And so with that being said, this is the Night Owl Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And how do you feel about that intro?
Fine. It's funny because I thought about putting something out on like Instagram or something about that as well. Just like seeing what people want to discuss or talk about. I mean, I don't want to get into like disc golf answer man answering like form questions and stupid microphone, all that. But yeah, just topics.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I'm not going to critique form. We're not going to do anything like that. But, I know that we say a lot of stuff here, and you don't have the ability to love or hate what we say. So I want to give that opportunity. So with that, I want to throw out our socials in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Social media. So I think, for us, it's throw at doordisc.com. But it is door_disc_golf. And you can message us there. You can do anything there. And then JP?
I am the number one, night.owl on Instagram. Or, someone's reached out to me on Facebook before too, saying stuff. So you can find me on Facebook too.
Right. And on there, we have the link tree. My OnlyFans is super private. That secret link is somewhere else, but the link tree has all the other socials on there. So the link tree is going to be, the OnlyFans is going to be really hard to find.
Unsolicited disc pics.
Exactly. A ton of D pics. So we also want to get into, as awesome as we are, we make mistakes.
Yeah, we do.
So here's the two things.
Okay.
Jomez, that is not dollar amounts. That is months as Patreons or patrons.
Oh, it is?
It is. I didn't know that.
I thought it was a monthly.
Contribution.
Yeah,
that's what I thought too.
Oh, wow.
I was corrected. Now, hopefully, that correction doesn't need to be corrected.
Yeah,
but that's what it is.
See, I thought like with all the different colors that was like a tier amount of money that like people were giving or something like that.
That's right.
Okay, that's
right.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but to mention like. The 55 minutes worth of time in Jomez videos, like the last 10 minutes is all scrolling of how much. Look at it, it's still a ton.
Yeah.
Not to take away, Jomez does awesome. I think it's awesome, but that is not dollar amounts.
Okay.
And the second one, I was trying to figure out bug. Remember, I was talking about bug people.
Yeah.
On one of the episodes, entomologist.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember we brought that up. I forgot what episode it was, but yep.
Because I kept saying oncologist. I was like, in my mind, oncologist. No, it's not oncologist, but I never said it out loud.
An oncologist is something else, but I don't even know what that is.
I think it's something to do with cancer or something like that, isn't it? Or
might be.
Okay, that's going to be another correction for next week. So
it's not really a correction. It's just going to be
clarification.
Yeah.
So I was taking a shower, and I was using I got Old Spice moisturizing body wash. I was throwing that on me, and it came to me. Entomologist.
What does it?
I have no idea what it has to do with anything.
Did you get itchy and feel like you had bugs on you? You're like rubbing it on. You're like, oh, bugs. Nope, it's just Old Spice.
No. Ironically, I got the moisturizing body wash because my nipples itch. Just one nipple.
You shouldn't say that when I'm drinking.
Sure, I could have got sprayed with that one. Yeah. But just one nipple. And it's not like, I don't know. Anyways, so just in case you guys wanted to know. So
fun.
Here we go. We'll get into the episode now. Actually, no. JP, go over the message you got on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. So yesterday, I got a Facebook message from Justin Patrick, and he was just saying that he agreed with our stance on alcohol for the tour, which was our Monday episode about the Ella Hansen saying, talking about drunk fans at the tour.
Right. Yep.
Right. And so he brought up the fact too that, Nate and Val have Bevel And he just thought it'd be a cool idea if they were to produce a beer and have it be the official beer of the tour. And I said, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Obviously, Bevel's more of a craft beer, and I don't know distribution-wise what you have to do, but if you could market it as like the official beer of the tour, I'm sure it would sell awesome.
Yeah, and I think they've collabed with a couple different disc golfers. So it's out there, yeah.
Right.
I mean, Nate and Val are icons of the sport.
Right.
You know, I would call them in that second generation of the sport. They're fantastic. Like I miss them as players.
Yeah.
I hope to miss them as commentators.
Shots fired.
I know, just Nate. Like and everybody has their own flavor, because I know a ton of people love Nate as a commentator. He's too energetic for me, way too energetic for me.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, and I'm not like, I don't know if I could say it to his face.
Yeah.
Because he's a super kind guy. Like, I mean, and I think it's well intended, but I think there's a lot of acting. It doesn't seem natural to me. I think that's my biggest complaint.
Yes,
with him.
I think so too. Like, oh wow, like that. There's some kind of like expressions that he has when players are making shots. He's like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
and
the amount of times that he says the co-host's name, a lot, JP, a lot. He says a lot. He says it a ton.
he does. Yeah.
Like especially when he's with Terry, it gets, or Ian even. It's.
Yeah.
But I can, I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those guys that'll pick apart anything. But so that's awesome from that message. And we're not promoting that people are cracking them on the course while they're playing. We're promoting them to use them as incentives for disc golf rounds. Like have the, spectators. There you go.
Right. Sales at tournaments.
Yeah. And we'll get into Steve Dodge, but some of the stuff that Steve Dodge is doing at Maple Hill and the MVP Open, I think that's some of those places they can use it. I mean,
right.
So we won't get back into that though. So today, let's go over our hanger flip. What'd you buy?
Oh man, slow week. I didn't buy anything.
Really?
Yeah, I really didn't. My Drew Gibson finish line arrows came today.
I want to throw one of those so bad.
I'll let you throw one.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I got 3 of those, and they're pretty nice. The stamping was kind of coming off a little bit, so they're probably hot stamped and sent out the door and stuff. But super excited for next week because the FDs are coming out.
Yes.
So first run,
yeah.
So first run FDs will come out Wednesday, and then stock run on Thursday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. So yeah, I'm super excited about those.
I'm gonna have to get a hold of Josh or Mike or somebody to grab a few of those for myself because I gotta have them.
Yeah,
I'm super excited about them.
I don't know if I'm excited. I'd like to have them in S line more than C line. I'm more of an S line thrower, but I'm sure I'll enjoy the C line too.
Yeah. I think the C line I'm excited about, especially if it's the same mold and plastic that I threw of Vinny's, Vinny Polidori's. I'm super excited about it because it's going to fit a slot in my bag that's between the Felon and my current FDs.
Sure.
And I think that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And the only thing I know, they're going to be more stable, about the same amount of glide. I just hope that they don't kind of fall into that, like instinct explorer kind of range.
They're not dumpy like them.
Okay.
At least the one that I threw was not dumpy. Now this was one that Vinny had in his bag. He had been throwing, so it might have been broken in a bit. But
yeah, because I know Ryan Miller too. Same. He got his way back probably in like October or late September or so, and so he's had his for a while too. So I'm sure they got all the
yeah. And I think. I'm just excited for him. I'm just super excited for him. And I know that Discmania is supposed to be dropping some more. And tomorrow morning is a big drop for the dealers. So Splices and Mutants.
Yes.
They're going to be coming back to retail.
Right. And they're dropping the week after, I think.
That's right.
Yeah. So
March 25th, I think.
Yeah. Something like that. Or so like maybe week and a half or something like that.
Yeah. So excited about that. So since you didn't buy anything, I did buy something. It's kind of it was a personal purchase for the shop.
Oh, okay.
So the shop did not pay for it. But I bought it because I didn't feel the shop right now could sustain the impact monetarily at the present moment.
Okay.
I bought 2 hot stamp machines.
Are you serious?
Yes, I did.
No way. Are they in the garage?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for them, but I bought 2 hot stamping machines.
Dang.
I bought a small one with a 3-inch head, and then I bought one with a 4.5-inch head, so we can do
Cool.
full-size stamps.
Yeah.
And then I bought the other one because then we could do bottom stamps or small
Yeah.
logo stamps or minis.
Well, how cool
So
is
forth
that?
and so on. So
Nice.
I'll be doing that, and those will be throwers,
Yeah.
in essence.
yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
So so that's the only thing. Oh, and then I bought my cart. So I officially got my
okay.
cart, and I told you about the cannibalism in the shop.
Yeah.
Because we had Raves Groovy, which is like a tie-dyed insert for the compact.
Right. It kind of reminds me of like Yellow Submarine Beatles kind of vibe.
Yeah, Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's really cool, but it wasn't the vibe I was going for because I bought the green, and then I bought the green wheels. I bought the green seat cushion. And so I kind of cannibalized one of them in the shop. I took a red frame with a black insert, and then I took the Wavy Groovy insert with the black frame, and I swapped the inserts.
Okay.
So now it's a red frame with the wave, and I think it looks awesome.
Yeah. I really wanted. I've been thinking about that cart for a long time.
Oh, the Wavy Groovy one?
Yeah.
Oh, if you want a black frame, we can get a black frame. And it's easy.
I'm kind of holding out to see what the Ricky cart.
I know, I'm waiting for that too.
Is going to be because I'm kind of excited for it.
We got an email today, and I was super excited because I see Kate's name, and I'm like, oh, and then it was nothing.
Oh.
It was just saying, hey, we got some more in stock. And
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, dang it. No, they said they got pink in stock, and I was like, all right, well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get into what we're going to talk about Steve Dodge. He's got some awesome stuff going on at MVP Open. We'll talk about what his plans are. We're going to talk about Memorial and maybe the death of. Maybe not. We're going to do a little recap about Waco. We're going to talk about garbage cans. We got the question of the week. And I think that's about all we'll go. And I'm sure we'll go into some tangents there.
Sure. Absolutely.
So let's start out with Steve Dodge. Tell me what you know.
Yeah. So, he was on. I mean, he's been kind of making the rounds on podcasts, but the first big thing that he had to drop was his $1 million ace.
Isn't that crazy?
It's unbelievable. Like unbelievable. So
Yeah.
was it?
It's a lot of zeros.
Yeah. Top 8 but not just rated women. It's based on a
Distance
statistic,
and accuracy.
right? Based on like a UDisc ranking. And so 8 women will get 4 shots on hole 1. 450 feet about, I think.
Yeah, he says the basket sits about 480 feet away, 450 feet to clear the water is what he says.
Oh, yeah. And it plays slightly downhill.
Yeah, he says it's 15 feet downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's pretty confident that somebody will actually hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, 32 throws, like that's a decent chance.
Oh, absolutely. But it's not just 32 throws.
No.
Then he added Friday and Saturday to the mix. So he
did?
He released the.
I thought it was just Thursday.
No, he did Nick and Matt. He told them about it just Thursday. And then on PDGA radio, Ultiworld today,
Yeah.
he dropped the bomb of Saturday and Sunday. So what it's doing is
Dang.
it's costing him $15,000 to give these ladies a $1 million chance.
Because I remember him bringing up the insurance side of it. Like he was gonna have to pay so much, and I think he said something that was like a 1 in 200 chance of them hitting it or something. But insurance wouldn't cover it unless it was a little less than that. So you know, more from the insurance side of things. But that is awesome. Like that. Like if somebody hits that, that's like legit putting disc golf on the map. Like crazy.
That's huge. I mean, and that is life-changing money. As Paul leans back and says, doesn't it feel nice?
Right.
Paul and Ricky, for that matter. But yeah, that's life-changing money. That is a huge amount of money, and that is one payment. I mean, the government's going to take their 30%, but 700 G's, like, why not?
Exactly.
Why not? I'd take a chance for it, especially when it doesn't cost anything. You know?
Right. You're already entered in the tournament.
Yeah, and then
You're
he's
gonna get it.
selling tickets to line the fairways.
Yeah.
And he's going to have people behind the basket, behind the tee pad, lining the lake. And I love how he said if someone cans it, everybody gets in the pond.
Yeah, I heard that. That's awesome.
He's playing Oprah with the pond. You get a pond. You get a pond.
I can just imagine the pond's got like floaties and like people are just sitting in tubes or something. You know,
I think that would be
the big
so
like
awesome.
swan with like they can sit like 6 people.
What are you looking at, Swan?
Yeah.
If you get that, you're my people. Yeah, so I'm super excited about it. So the other thing he talks about on that is 10 years, a 10-year contract with MVP for naming rights.
Yeah.
He said he had 2 suitors,
Right. Yes, that's what I had heard.
and the one suitor came back and said 5 years, good deal.
Yeah.
And he went back to MVP and said, hey, 5 years, this is what it's, I think I'm going to take it. And they said, don't take it. We'll come back with something better. They said 10 years. And he lays it out as a potential multi-million-dollar deal because he's going to say it'll be, I think it was something like $200,000 for each year.
Okay.
And then at 5 years, there's a renegotiation.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
So, and then for the last 5 years. So that is one of the biggest moves I've ever heard by a TD ever.
Right. Yeah.
Ever. I mean, that's fantastic. And that brings legitimacy to tournament directors now. And it gives the ability for tournament directors with the property and land, Eagles Crossing, to demand that type of dollar now.
Yeah.
So this is the Paul McBeth move for TDs.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. So
I mean, think of all the improvements they can make, or you know, there's just a ton of stuff that you can picture. I mean, Maple Hill's already gorgeous and beautiful, but the amount of other things that upgrades and things they can make to the course, it's gonna be unbelievable.
right, a bucket list course for me for sure.
Yeah.
I wish I would have gone earlier in my disc golfing life so I could have seen the transition. Now I'm going to be where it's like, it is what it is now. You know, like it's part of the, like it's going to be at the greatest when I see it. Whereas opposed to if I would have went 20 years ago, like what was it? Did it even exist 20 years ago? 2006, I think he said was the first year they did it. So,
Yeah.
so sometime around there.
Then.
Yeah. So the things he talks about that is he is using with that $10 million with the multi-million-dollar potential with that 10-year with MVP is every year he plans on doubling the stands this year, the spectator stands this year. And every year for 3 years he plans on doubling them again.
Yeah.
So
He said they were expensive too. Like really expensive. Like each stand was like 200 G's or 200.
I think he said 50 G's, but it would cost them about 250 G's to double the stands. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was.
So, which is huge, but he's going to plan on doing that and then also fix parking or add parking and make parking a bit better.
I'm curious what the situation is there. Like we're not there because like before the tournament, like they have tailgating there as well. So that probably takes up quite a bit of space. And then what he said is he's kind of playing Tetris with cars, trying to fit people in the best he could because of the amount of people there, you know. Yeah. So expanding parking. I mean, he's probably envisioning this being the biggest tournament there can be. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, and they have the property to do it.
Right.
I mean, the property's there to do it. It's just how much do they want to give up for the tree farm? And in my opinion, there's not a single Christmas tree that's going to give them that money, you know? So go ahead. I mean, hopefully not death to Christmas, but you know, you got to make your choices at that point. Right. There are plenty of other lands that have a lot more, you know, trees on them. So I think they're probably going to end up, he said he was going to end up running a one-way kind of pull-in, back-out parking through a loop in the thing. So you have to drive through the park in order to do it, or through his land or their land in order to do it. And then he also brought up, like, within 3 years, he's going to have a deck.
Yes. That sounds awesome as well.
It does. He was talking like a 70 by 70 deck.
Yeah, with chairs or tables and umbrellas and all that.
Yeah.
I forgot what I think he said, like hole 11 or
it was like 11 and 8 or
something
8
like
and
that.
16 or
and possibly having like waiter service, like people, you know, food or I don't know. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, whatever it is. I mean, it's in the right direction. And for those of you that are not aware of who Steve Dodge is, he is the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Right.
He started the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Controversially, he started it. He is Birdie Disc Golf, the disc golf game.
Yeah, the game. Yeah.
Birdie
Boda
Disc
Brothers.
Golf,
Yeah.
Boda Brothers, yeah. He is Maple Hill. He used to be Vibram.
Yeah.
So he was the guy at Vibram. I'm pretty sure that was Steve Dodge, right? Not Steve Hill. Okay. Scratch that one. We'll come back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think you can. There's not many people that are as pivotal in disc golf more than Steve.
Right. Yeah.
Like Steady, of course.
Right.
But he's the guy that started it. But yeah, I mean, there's not many people in this game that are that way. I mean, you got UC Marismo, who's doing a lot of really awesome things, and he had the World Tour, and Disc Golf Pro Tour kind of started at the same time. I think the World Tour was one prior to that.
I think so.
But Steve is very humble in this regard.
Really?
Yeah, that he let go of it at the right time, and he
yeah.
recognizes that he would not have been the guy to put it where it's at now. Like he's very clear with that. That Jeff Spring and they're doing stuff that no one else would. Like Todd Rainwater. So yeah, I mean, I am super excited to see what's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
And obviously, where's the purse going to? Like the pro purse going to? And where's the prestige of that event? I mean, because he even talked about the 8 holes. Like, so let's talk about the ticket structuring.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So he has tickets from $15 all the way to $300.
Yeah, gold package. Yeah,
Yeah, it was like gold or something. Yeah.
Yep.
You want to talk about that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think $300 for the whole weekend, parking included.
Right.
It gets you can walk anywhere on the course. Gets you into the tailgate. I don't remember.
It basically got you everywhere. So it got you into the 8 holes.
Yes.
It got you into the tailgating. It got you into, was it hole 1? Yeah, the hole 1 with the ace running and all that stuff.
Yeah. Like it was like the most elite. Like it unlocked everything at the tournament, and then
you only had 50 of them.
Yep.
And
they were close to sold out the other night.
I should have checked before we jump on here, but while you're talking, I'll check on it real quick.
Yeah, I mean it's unbelievable. And then I think there was another couple tiers down, like a silver or I don't know.
Yeah, there were other tiers too, and then he was selling them by $15 a day, and then so $15 was for the first day, second day was $25, and then the last day was $40 or $30 if you did it just by the one. So yeah, I mean, just awesome. Like, and he's doubled down on the $99 to be a volunteer.
Oh yeah,
because you get the player pack, and he says he has about an 80 or 85% return rate.
And he said they might even get a wait list for the amount of volunteers. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
And volunteers as in quotes.
Yes, exactly.
Like you're not really but you get the player pack.
Yeah.
So that's
and the player pack was worth well more than $99. Yeah. And then you get the experience of rubbing elbows with pros and and being a really controversial individual that calls something OB, and then Paul McBeth says, "No way, this is this is how it's gonna go."
I forgot who it was. There was somebody on Nick and Matt. He's like, "Oh yeah, I was a volunteer, and then I got to caddy for Matty O." I was like, "Wait, that's
was
awesome."
like Evan, was that sound right?
Or Ben?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was one of the guys.
Statmando guys, I think.
Yeah. So I thought that was just super awesome, like absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And listening to him, see, Pepsi and podcasting don't mix. Pepsi, well, they do if they want to sponsor, so I'll take it back. The thing I want to talk about Steve Dodge is I've never had a favorable opinion about Steve Dodge. And I think it was just because he was the guy that I'm going to bring coverage in-house for Disc Golf Pro Tour. I'm going to charge volunteers. Making all these choices that change the face of disc golf.
Right.
We're going to start charging for spectators. We're going to, he was the guy. Just plain and simple. He was the guy. So the more and more I listen to him, the more and more I like him. Because I can see where he's coming from. he's coming from that place of love of the game. Mm-hmm. He's making these choices, and he is trying to better and further the game. Yes, it's to pad pockets. Yes, it's to make the game more profitable for everybody involved, including him. So there is a foresight in that. But man, he is funny too.
Yeah.
Like I had to listen twice the first time I heard him in any interview. And I remember where it was, but I'm like, is this guy really that arrogant? Or does he not listen to what
Not self-aware.
people are saying? Yeah. No, if you listen to what he's saying, it's this self-degradating, like completely sarcastic, just doesn't seem to be a serious bone in this guy's body. And it's the funniest thing once you realize that most 90% of everything he says is sarcasm. Like it sarcastic or comes from a place of sarcasm. It's hilarious. Like I was listening to Nick and Matt, and it was just clicking with me. I'm like, man, this guy is funny. So he's turning me around. He's kind of like Drew Gibson, and gave that good interview. And I'm like, oh, I'm really liking this guy even more now, Not that I didn't like Drew Gibson before, but so with Steve, like he was one of those guys that I was just like, a little eerie about, and I'm really loving him now.
Yeah.
So
it's cool. He's really trying to build a disc golf experience is what it really is. It's amazing to think about the potential of what can be, at Maple Hill.
Yeah. Well, in the visual he gave me of like one of his parking attendants was like challenging the guys with trucks, like, think you can park it up on that hill? Like that's just amazing to me. Because if a parking attendant was like, think you could do hold my beer, even though I don't drink, but like, watch this. How high do you want me to get up?
Yeah, until it starts raining and your truck slides down the hill or something,
Exactly.
crashes into a bunch of other cars.
Exactly. It would be one of those days where I'd hope I'd be driven my truck and not the Altima, because on the Altima I'd be like, oh, it's all-wheel drive, I'll try. But so, all right, Memorial.
Yeah.
Let's have a chat.
Yes.
What do you think? You started.
The most notable thing about the tournament was Paul McBeth's 1108 rated round.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad to see a tournament that once had as much prestige as it had as being the start of the year. Pretty much the first big tournament of the year has now gone by the wayside.
Right.
I mean, there's still big names that go to it, but being no longer on the pro tour, national tour really hurts it. And honestly, it's not the most exciting golf to watch.
It's not.
As a consumer of and I mean, Taylor Miller goes out there and films it now because it's only an 8 here, and we're lucky to get that. He's probably there because it was Paul's first tournament, and but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Between that and Vegas, I'm kind of glad they're moving away from this desert golf. Like getting to Waco will be a little more exciting, more shot variety, more of a challenge. But I'm also very surprised that the ratings for this tournament are so high, considering what the course is.
Well, and it's the field, and
it is. Yeah.
I wish I knew how they did ratings. But there was a decently packed field.
There was.
I mean, there's, well, maybe not.
Well, I mean,
so if we sort by ratings, well, yeah, okay. So you have Paul McBeth and Adam Hammes are the two highest rated, and then you got Kale behind them, Drew Gibson. So we have 6 people that are 1030 rated or above.
Quite a few 1020s.
Yeah, quite a few. I mean, we go down into, you get into like probably another 20 people down, and you're into the 1020s, and then it goes down into the 1019s and below.
Yeah.
And one of them was Aaron Gossage, who was one of the guys that put up a good competition there.
He did, yeah.
But Paul McBeth is really what elevates those ratings, because he stays so clean, and he's such a high-rated player. And the rest of the guys, basically, for their rating, play pretty well above it, which elevates him. You know? So, we've played Memorial I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 times.
I know you've been
Jordan
out there a
and
couple
I know
times, yeah.
twice for sure. So let's just stay with twice. And I enjoy the courses, and I think the courses are harder than the pros make it look because I'm an am.
I was gonna say for an am, they're particularly long. Some of the holes,
They're just long enough,
yeah,
to challenge,
right? And there's a couple holes that water comes into play.
And this is a Vista we're talking about now.
Yeah.
So Vista, where there's what, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4 holes where water
Right.
truly comes into play.
I think I brought it up
Maybe
earlier, like in the season. A lot of elevated baskets.
Right.
You know, that's.
So the first year we played, not a single elevated basket.
Oh, really?
The second year we played, 9 out of the 18.
Yeah, I thought it was at least half.
It was half.
Yeah.
And it went immediately. And that was the big controversy of elevated baskets back then. And Vista, I mean, it's park golf. The disadvantage that place has is that they cannot, or they choose not to shut the parks down.
Right.
They just simply, because these are like, what do they call it, green alleys or whatever, they're greenways. They're basically drainage ditches for everything, and it stays green in those areas. It's the park areas, so they put bike paths, walking paths, all those things through there, and they're busy. I mean, I was in the middle of a round, and this kid came up and started messing around with my bag, and this was the second year, and just started messing with my bag, and it didn't bother me. I mean, it would have. It didn't bother me, but he was interested. Like, what is this? All this stuff. And I had 3 putters. I always carry 3 putters, and I pulled one of the putters. I think I've said this story, maybe. But I pulled one of the putters out and gave it to him. I said, here, you can have it. No big deal. This is disc golf, blah, blah, blah. And the dad was super happy, and we were walking to the next hole. And I go to putt, because this was on the tee pad. And I go to pull my putter out, and I gave him this was when I had putting putters.
Yeah.
It was my primary putting putter.
Oh, no.
Not that it affects my putt at all, because I was garbage and still am very much garbage. But there are people everywhere. Like, so much so that people just wander through the park not knowing, and you're like, hey, there's something going on right now, and you can't do enough screenage or signage, because when it's out of the back door of these guys' apartments or these folks' apartments, like, they're just going to go right out their back doors, across the fairways.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. It's the fault of the TD. It realistically is what it is. So, and he can't control it necessarily, but you either need to try to get the park shut down or move venues. There's history there. People are going to be so salty about this, but it is a great A or B tier tournament.
Yeah.
It is not a national tour or pro tour.
And I'll say this. It's not to the fault of the players that the golf is boring. They're just playing what they're given. You know? So that's what it is. And
they do a lot of manufactured OBs.
Yes.
They do a lot of stuff, but it's not enough to make it interesting.
No.
Especially when you can't see the danger. Like, there's a rope on the ground.
Yeah.
You can't see a disc,
You might see a couple signs up, to create an island or, something like that. But
it doesn't do enough.
No.
And seeing these guys play on it, it doesn't. Because there's not even enough to really open up. Like, there's not any, like, that was a really impressive shot. Like, Vegas at least gives you those impressive shots.
Right.
You can see these discs go for miles and miles.
I was going to say, was it 2 years ago, though, Drew Gibson? That's like where you first saw him, like, rip the buzz. There's a shot there where, like, oh, my God, that was amazing. Like, he parked, I forgot what hole he parked with the buzz, but it was, like, over 500 feet.
At Memorial?
I thought so.
It might have been the one where he threw over water, where he had to keep it low and he played the turnover.
Yeah, that could have been. I don't remember what the shot was.
I don't remember.
But
Drew's always been really good. I mean, Drew was really good with the EMAC. But it wasn't. The Buzz was the one, where was it? Was that SFO?
Oh, maybe.
Where he threw, it was like kind of a crested hill, and he threw this, it was just a straight flat. Everybody else was throwing high-speed drivers, and he pulls out a Buzz. Yeah,
that could have been it.
But so, not to beat a dead horse, but I feel, my humble opinion, that as soon as Paul McBeth decides not to participate in the Memorial's dead. As far as a pro landing zone.
I could see that, yeah.
Because I think the Shelly Sharp will stay
Yeah.
because it's out of season and there's a lot of pros that winter there.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
outside of that,
I mean, it is kind of on the way to Waco. So, I mean, I can see why people go that way just to hit up a tournament before. You know, there's 2 weeks in between
yeah.
LVC and Waco. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting how long Discraft decides to sponsor it as well, if they'll continue to be the major sponsor for it.
From what I understand, now this was when I was there just chatting with people, and you know how disc golf is, especially with such a small community. And I think this was like 17 and 18 is when I went.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, the owner Spinners on the Green, who is the TD, but they're also the shop that's basically right outside the park,
Yep.
Right outside hole 1. So there's Butch's or Dutch's or whatever that is.
There's a bar.
The bar that's right there. We played Golden Tee at.
Go figure.
Yeah, exactly. And then Spinners is basically the next shop over. From what I understand, he has a very good relationship with Discraft.
Okay.
A very close relationship, like kind of used to help them develop discs, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if he was part of owner at one point. I don't know. You know, who knows? There's all kinds of different things that went on, but I'm assuming he's a Nate Heinel-ish individual.
Yeah.
You know, where he's been with Discraft for so long that he has that pull. So I don't know if they'll ever lose Discraft as a sponsor, but who knows? You know, there's new blood coming in all the time, and
yeah, it's one of those things too. You know, because obviously Paige, even though it's a Discraft event, Paige isn't showing up. She's doing stuff, but you would think that Discraft would maybe incentivize showing up for their pros. I mean, that's a good amount of their pros are at this tournament.
Right.
So yeah, I'm kind of curious how that works out.
Yeah. It's hard because I love it for the historical factor, but there's a lot of places I love for the historical factor that just simply don't fit the tour anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's sad, and it will be sad. It's just like when iconic stadiums get tore down.
Yes.
You know, it's the same thing. It's just, it's a changing of the time. Certain things just simply can't handle the crowds that are like the Diamondbacks' old stadium. You know, like the Warehouse. Like, I loved that stadium simply because that's what I grew up knowing, the Diamondbacks. And then it gets torn down, and now it's just absolutely marvelous stadium. But then, you know, go on and on. Like, but if they did that to Lambeau, like, whoa, watch yourself, you know. But, and even when they did the addition, when they did the upper addition.
The atrium and all that.
That was crazy. People went nuts over that. Like, they were pissed off about it, and now everybody thinks it's the greatest thing in the world, you know. And then they did just another share cell. Yeah. And they're going to do another expansion.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't know what exactly, but probably more seating somehow.
I'm sure of it, yeah. But so getting back to the memorial, I think that's where the memorial's at. But unfortunately, they don't have shareholders they can sell to and make this park bigger.
Right.
You know, or, you know, to keep the spectator or I'll call them randos, like the random people just from walking in and out of the park, you know, the community members. So, but he made a good stance. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. The TD was, let me get the TD's name so I can make sure. Keith Murray.
Okay.
I believe that's the owner of Spinners. That doesn't sound right, but yeah, if it is. But anyways, they had made a statement saying, the reason I don't want to or I don't push harder to shut the parks down, or I don't want to shut the parks down, is because it's exposure for the sport.
It is. Yeah.
Every time they're out there playing, they get to see, you know, people get to see the best in the sport play. I think it's a good, noble thing to do, but when it gets in the way of competition, is it?
Yeah.
You know, is it?
And that's why they have so many Mandos on the course, trying to keep things safe.
Exactly. So instead of letting the people discover how the course can be played, they're forced to play the course how it's forced to be played. Yeah, instead of really letting their imagination run and play, and like they can't do it.
It's interesting too because they missed the boat. Like they dropped off the tour before like passes were made. You know, like if they could have charged people spectator passes, then maybe they could have shut the park down and still gotten people to come watch. And, that was just a ship that had passed.
Exactly. I'm kind of under the impression that you can't shut those green belts down.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that the village, town, municipality, whatever, probably won't allow them. Or if it's the county owned, they probably won't allow them because those green belts are just super, super viable or valuable to the community with exercise and just all that stuff. So, I mean, I get it, but unfortunately, I think that's the death nail of that final nail in the coffin of Memorial. I think it's just a matter of time before 1050 rated Paul McBeth is no longer going, and they'll no longer be we won't even have this discussion anymore.
Yeah,
so,
it'll be an afterthought, and that'll be it.
So here are the results. If you don't want to know the results, turn it off now. No, or just fast forward about, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to do MPO.
Sure. We'll just go top 10.
Sure.
Number 10, we got Luke Sampson, -24. Thomas Gilbert at 9, -25.
He's up there again.
Coda Hatfield, -27. Andrew Marweed, -28. Jordan Castro, -29. Adam Hammes, -31. Drew Gibson, -31. Aaron Gossage, -35. Anthony Barella, -37. And Paul McBeth, -40.
AB doesn't surprise me. He's up there at all.
No,
he is
not at all.
Always a performer here. Drew Gibson, I was really hoping he'd go back to back, and it looked like his putter was super solid. So I'm not sure where he lost the strokes, or maybe he just couldn't keep up with Paul and AB.
Yeah, when I was watching the first round, he was doing all right, but he would get some pars and Paul, or they just pick up stroke. They get birdies.
I noticed he was leaving himself outside of circle.
Yes.
Almost. I mean, a lot.
Right.
So awesome to see Jordan Castro. Like he's not a name he's a name but he's not a name you see in the top 10 a lot. Mm-hmm. And I wish he would. Like, I'd love the guy. I'm a big fan of him from DD, and since he's gone to MVP, he hasn't really been a factor.
No.
But I love seeing him in the top 10 there. I've heard of Coda Hatfield's name. Don't know much about him, but he looks like a solid player.
He's pretty regional. Like, I think he's from Texas.
Okay.
From what I've heard Robert McCall talk about him.
Yeah, maybe that's
there.
Yeah. Okay.
Just regional. Like, he's got some history in Texas, I think.
Right. And then Thomas Gilbert, that's fantastic to see him up there again, Vegas, now here, and then I believe he's in Waco, and let's see if he does the same thing. So top 10, he's going. That's great. And then Paul McBeth with an 11.08 rated first round. That's nuts.
10.98 the second round.
Yeah. 10.98, and then lackluster 10.39, so a 10.40 rated, and then he runs to a 10.52. That is the second highest rated tournament average that he's ever had.
Right, I think it averaged out to 10.75 or something like that is what I heard. Yeah, crazy.
That is awesome. So we'll go to women FPO. So we'll do the top 4. I think that's what we did last time, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we'll do top 4. So Hannah Blumroos, so Owen Scoggins, Jenna Allen, and then Kristen Tatar is first. So Kristen Tatar finished at 8 under, and then Allen was at 5 under. Scoggins 4 under, and then Hannah Blumroos at 2 under. Evelina Salonen, so just European notables. Evelina Salonen was right in the mix. Well, kind of in the mix. She fell off the last round. She was just having putting woes.
Yeah.
But she shot a 1 over and tied with Emily Beach, and I've never heard of her. I don't see her. Maybe she's just a regional player.
Maybe.
But I didn't know much about her, but she seemed to do pretty well.
Yeah. And Hannah leapfrogged her off chase card.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. The two I want to talk about, so Kristen Tatar, awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, Hannah and Evelina always overshadowed her last year in any discussion you heard from any podcast, or I was talking about, there's Evelina.
Right.
And
except for the contract talk.
Except for contract talk. Yeah,
Yeah.
that money speaks.
Yeah.
But last year it was always, the Europeans, Evelina, and and they'd always just do Evelina and Henna, Evelina and Henna. And I'm like, dude, Kristen Tatar came over here and dominated. And the
Yeah.
only time they talked about her was when she was here.
That's true.
But they kept always saying, oh, yeah, but
Yeah.
just wait.
But I think, Henna and Evelina, I mean, I think they were in some bigger tournaments in Europe and ended up winning. They were like 1-2 in like, what was it? Whatever their national
European championship.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a big deal for them.
Yeah. And I think that's great. And I was just a little disappointed, but I'm super happy. I mean, I'm super happy for her. I'm super happy that she's getting the recognition. She's winning. I mean, she pulled in $2,000 for that win. Plus, I'm sure she's getting bonuses and all that stuff. So, awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, awesome.
It'll be cool. Yeah, it'll be great to see. Like, they're keeping it short to start, but I think they're coming back later.
Yes.
Kristen, yeah.
I know she's planning on being here for Worlds. I know, I want to say USDC, which they're about 4 weeks apart. They're about a month apart, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So I think she leaves after Waco. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're speaking, yeah.
Yeah.
The other person I want to talk about is Jen Allen. She's one of my favorite players. And she had some yips last year. And in Vegas, I was like, okay, they don't seem to be there anymore. And they kind of reared their head a little bit in this one. And the reason I say that is because she used like every putting style under the sun.
Yeah.
In this one. I mean, I saw her turbo, I saw her straddle, I saw her stagger. I've seen spin, I've seen like pitch. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But she did well. She was making them.
Yeah. She played well. She won Shelly Sharp and Maricopa?
Yeah, she won both of those.
Yeah.
She's won everything she's played in Arizona except for Memorial.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so doing well.
And then she beat Owen again. Owen was behind her in those two tournaments.
Yep. And Owen, the only thing that got Owen was distance in this.
Oh, absolutely.
Her putting was nails as it always is, but Owen just fell behind in distance between Kristen and Jen Allen. So so there you go. That's the Memorial. So we're going to talk about Waco now?
Yep.
Okay. Waco. So Waco is coming. When you hear this, we'll be into the second round. When does it start?
No,
Friday?
I think it starts Friday.
Okay, yeah. So we'll be into the first round, or the first round will be starting.
Yep.
We have an awesome field. Like, this is the first full field minus Eagle McMahon because he feels that there's too many forehands for him.
Right. Yeah. He was trying to give his elbow some little rest. And Simon, I think, I was on Instagram the other day and he had put a post. I think he just signed up.
Did he?
Yes, he's in right ahead of Bradley Williams.
Look
and he had
that.
this. Yeah, I don't think he was gonna come down this
excited.
way till after March, but
He needs to get some sleep is what it is.
Yeah.
He needs to get away from the kid and get some sleep.
There's just like a little emoji, like he showed the page and with like the little finger in front of the. He's like, he's on my fantasy team, so I don't know if I'll play him, but
Awesome.
yeah, pretty awesome.
Yeah. So you got Ricky Wysocki, 1053. So the only person that's rated, so Eagle is the only one missing at 1055. But so you have Ricky, Paul, Calvin, Dickerson, Hammis, Klein, Jones, Burr, and I'm excited to see Burr again.
Yeah,
So-
he played well here last year.
He did.
Yeah,
It's going to be some gross weather, and Burr is from a little bit further north than the other guys listed there, other than Adam Hammis, but he's been vacationing in Arizona for the last 2 years or 3 years, so or wintering, I guess. But Gannon Burr, that was one of the things. Did I hear it? Yeah, it was on a podcast, I believe. I heard he was getting an interview. I think it was UltiWorld had him on. And he said that's the one thing that he feels he has an advantage because he's always playing in junk weather in Iowa. So, it's
supposed to be 40 the first day and then kind of get nicer the next couple days over the weekend.
Windy, 30 something. And Burr's like, I'm taking pars out in the wind, and when we get into the woods, hopefully I can sneak a few birdies. They haven't changed anything
Yeah, that's what I heard. There's no big changes.
Yeah, no huge changes, but yeah. So you go on, and Joel Freeman coming off a heater this last weekend too,
Yep.
where he just went nuts on the field. Got Kale LaVisca. Kale LaVisca made the cut in Memorial. He had to. No, there's no cut line.
No.
Okay. But did he cash
Yeah.
to start the streak over again?
I thought I saw up there that he had cash. But
Yeah,
he
I
had
did.
it up.
I'll have to look at it again. But okay, so Kale LaVisca's in Mason Ford, LeCastro, Freeman, Presnell. I mean, on and on.
Yeah.
And you got Lazat, Williams, Girthy, Ulibarri. So you got some of the past winners as well. But I'm excited because Chandler Fry's been showing up quite a bit at the top of the list. I'm excited to see him. And so we have defending champion LeCastro.
Yep.
And then, geez, isn't Germ is in there too, isn't he?
Yeah, I just saw his name.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good showing. I'm excited to see this. It's another Disc Golf Pro Tour network. You're not going to get the first round for free again.
Yeah.
Most likely. They probably have this all figured out. And has it always been presented by Prodigy? I feel like that used to be a DD thing, wasn't it?
It might have been.
It looks like they switched sponsorships.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
So there you go. So that's what it is. My picks for this. Give me your. We'll do MPO and FPO.
Okay.
Give me your pick to win.
Pick to win. I'm going to go with Chris Dickerson.
All right. And I'm going to go with low hanging fruit with Paul McBeth.
Okay.
That was a hard one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I debated Gannon Bird, just so you know.
Did you?
I didn't know.
No.
Okay. Here we go. FPO. So we got Pierce, Tatar, Salonen, Allen, Blumroos, Hokum, Scoggins, Gannon, Mandahano. So Valerie Mandahano, Young, Weiss, Panis. Just everybody you can think of. Ella Hansen, Natalie Ryan, Finley, Emily Beach is there again. Yeah, you keep going on. Maria Oliva, Cox is there, Vanessa Van Dyken. Elaine King. Yeah, there you go. You got Elaine King and, who was the other Hall of Famer that was there?
Oh.
Why wasn't I? I'm blanking on her name for some reason. Well, anyways.
Oh, Des is there.
Yeah, Des Redding. There you go. Des Redding and Elaine King. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Juliana?
well, Corver is not.
Okay.
At least I did not see her. So, who is your pick for?
Man. I am going to go with Kat.
Oh, good choice. Oh, man, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with the hot streak and put Tatar up there.
Okay.
So, get the Estonian the win. She tees off at 9:04 a.m., so she's not even on the feature card. Boo.
Ooh.
Because Evelina Salonen is such a better player.
Yeah. Huh.
That's unfortunate. So she's not on the feature card.
Heather Young, Paige.
Yeah, it looks like, well, here, I'll do it by tea time. Let's see. We have, so feature card is going to be Panis, Pierce, Salonen, and Young. And then not even, so Alan Scoggins, Lydia Lyons?
Lydia Lyons. Yeah.
Lydia Lyons, okay. Lydia Lyons and then Kristen Tatar. So on the second card. So we will see how that shakes out. So
Isn't it sad that, like, Kona's really an afterthought right now?
It is. After the waves she made just a month ago.
Yeah.
And honestly,
former last year's champion.
they paid for social media.
Yeah.
Like, they paid for social media. I think her putt with Eric McCabe, it's coming around. Every time I see it, I like it more and more, what she's doing. And that's all she needs to clean up. And she's going to be, top 5 player. And she's not a top 5 player as it is right now, but
she's borderline top 10, it looks like.
Yeah, she's right there. But yeah, so there you go. That is what we got to look forward for in Waco. Now, as we're talking about Waco, let's talk about the trash cans.
Trash cans, yeah.
I got rid of the trash can. There it is.
There it is.
Okay. So, Waco, if you remember the koozies that wrap the poles for the advertisements last year, the Disc Golf Pro Tour is changing their scheme, their billboard.
Yeah.
So what it looks like is a so it just dawned on me. So what this looks like to me is, for those of you that are farmers, it looks like an animal feed bin. So something you would temporarily keep animal feed in, or even permanently, but you keep animal feed in. So
Or like a rain bucket, or,
Rain-
like
yeah,
or a
just-
rain barrel or something like that.
yeah. So it's basically a hefty trash can turned upside down with the bottom come out.
Yep.
And that is exactly what it looks like, because you can see I have a picture up on our screen here. So I have a TV. It's a 60-inch or 55-inch TV that this thing is blown up as large as it could possibly be blown up. And it is a garbage can with the bottom come out.
Yeah, that's well. At least it can double as players can just dump their trash into the basket when it's done.
Oh man, like, so for me, now that I see it, I got to make fun of it because it's a trash can. It's a much bigger billboard. Like,
Right,
I think it's
absolutely.
right for the thing, because we, as Door Disc Golf, decided we wanted to go for the elevated basket.
Mm-hmm.
It was hella expensive this year.
Okay.
It was almost double what it was last year. So we decided to pass on that.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to go with the koozies,
Yeah.
and they were almost double. And if I would have known it was that much larger, I might have considered it.
Yeah.
Because they're still affordable.
And it's the whole year, right?
Whole year,
Yeah.
every event.
Right.
And so it makes sense because they added a bunch more events and things like that. So I was excited about it. Didn't end up doing it. But now that I see this, I'm like, man, maybe. Because these are going to be much more recognizable, because those koozies that were at the bottom of the baskets before.
It just wrap the pole. They're small.
Yeah.
They like vertically. You could get like your sponsor, like if there was a word or something like
Right.
that. But this, there's a full image.
Yeah, you
Like,
get the
it's
full
huge.
logo, everything. Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm curious. What happens when you hit it? Like, how hard? Like, will your disc bounce off or fly off, or like,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen with that situation? Who knows? But it'll be interesting when play comes around and we see it on film.
Right. Remind me to come back to Gannon Burr. I want to say something about Gannon Burr.
Okay.
But I like it. I'm looking at one that has Birdie Disc Golf Supply on it, and it looks good. And Disc Golf Pro Tour is sharing the sign, of course, which I don't have any qualms. But if I paid the money that they were asking for it, I think I'd have a little bit of qualms for them sharing that space with me.
Yeah.
But then again, it is the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So
Right, like we only see the two images. I'm wondering what goes, like how many images are actually around the basket as well. If there's another birdie image, or if it's another company, like if you're
Right.
sharing space, who knows?
Yeah. And I would assume it's on either side. It's kind of, you look at the four corners of a round thing, of course. But I would assume that Birdie is on either side,
Yeah.
and then Disc Golf Pro Tour.
That makes sense.
So, but yeah, it is, I would call it an eyesore, but effective.
Like I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but it definitely sticks out more than you would think.
Yes. I agree. I think it is definitely a trash can with the bottom cut out.
Yeah, and I don't know the reasoning of moving away from the koozie apart from having bigger sponsors,
Right.
Bigger sponsorship images.
Okay, so aesthetics.
Aesthetics.
We're gonna say aesthetics.
Pathetics.
Aesthetics. So the aesthetics of it and the professional look of it. What do you think?
Lacking.
Lacking.
Yeah. Like,
So this says less professional to you?
I think, yeah. Honestly, between this and the koozie, I think they're both relatively, they're just not pleasing to the eye. Like, I'd rather just look at a pole almost.
If you had to choose between this or a koozie, so upside down trash can or a koozie.
It's hard for me not to think that it's just an upside down, like someone just sawed off a trash can and looked at it. Like the koozie thing, at least you had to like kind of wrap around it. And I think I'd go with the koozie more. But I can see, if I'm a sponsor, I'd like this a lot more than the koozie.
Agreed. So the only thing that I think of right now is, why is there not a camera in that thing looking up at the basket for like some
Sweet
sort
idea.
of catch cam?
Yeah.
Because there's definitely enough space in there.
Oh, yeah.
Being that it's like a 55-gallon trash can. So aesthetically, I think it's good. I like the look of the cooties.
Koozies.
Words are difficult today. I like the look of koozies a bit better, because we're kind of used to them wrapping poles on most athletic fields, because they're a foam cushion that goes around a pole.
Yep.
So I think we see that a lot in a lot of different athletic. I mean, the yardage markers on the side of football fields, they're wrapped with koozies.
Right.
They're not advertisement koozies, but they're basically may as well be. I don't have any hate or love for it. I think it is an advertisement and it holds a place. I think there's other ways they could do it a little more effectively, like vinyls on the top of the basket.
Right, like wrap the band.
Right. I think we need to get into holographic advertisements that are in front of the chains.
Ooh.
So like it's like a cylinder. Have you ever seen like Total Recall and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Where they have the cylinders that go down over the, for advertisements, or you get a phone call and it pops up in front of you.
Right.
That's what they should use.
Like Tupac hologram.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah. That'd be
Ride or
sweet.
die.
Yep.
Ride or die. So it is what it is. Look it up on Twitter, and you'll never guess who tweeted it.
I'm not going to say his name.
Yep, just look it up on Twitter. All right. So let's get into Jordan's question.
Yeah.
Are you ready? This is a good one. I do enjoy this one. For those of you play along at home. All right. Would you rather be kicked or punched in the face as hard as an elite UFC fighter can punch you, and one full power kick to the thigh in exchange to be 1,000 rated? So, okay, he said,
Give me a flyweight.
Here's the fighter. Here's the fighter.
Oh, he is an actual fighter.
The fighter is Israel Adesanya.
No.
Or Asanya, sorry. It's a hard pass for me.
Yeah.
I'm good at my 940.
This isn't a hard pass at all. This is an easy pass. Like, yeah. Do I want to cheat death? Meh. Do I want a broken femur? Meh.
Exactly.
Nope.
It's not on your bucket list?
Not at all.
Not even on your Disc Golf Pro Tour trash can list?
Throw it in the trash can. Yeah. Throw it hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll work hard to try to get to 1,000 rated. And the way that ratings are going, it seems like it's going to be easier to get to 1,000 rated. The amount of pain that you would suffer as well. Like,
yeah.
No.
I don't remember that show Sports Science?
Yes.
They had a UFC. It was a UFC guy. It was a mixed martial artist.
Yes.
Punch and kick.
Yeah.
And he kicked.
The amount of force. Because they had one of those, like,
it wasn't
rubber
an Anderson
dummies or
Silva?
something. It might have been.
I think it was, I don't remember.
George St. Pierre?
No, it wasn't St. Pierre.
No?
It was a black guy.
It might have been Silva.
I don't remember who. Anyways, but it was so long ago. Man, why did they get rid of that? Or is it still around?
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't seen it in a long
why
time.
did they get rid of that?
It was pretty cool.
So, yeah, the amount of force could easily break, and I think they did the comparison about like how much it takes to break a femur, and it was like twice the force it would, and professional fighters have way of absorbing impact, and they train for those people. I mean, no way. If it was one or the other, maybe. I think I could take a punch. Like, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
I might lose the sight in one eye, but I think I could take a punch. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a hard pass for me, too. Like, yeah, not even a question in my mind.
It's sad because, like, it's only 1,000 rated. If you got me to like Paul McBeth, like 1050 or 10 like 30, maybe like a kick to the groin.
So is it a magical? So here's my question. Here's two things. Is it a magical kick that makes you the skill of 1,000 rated player, or is it just you get the rating of 1,000?
Yeah, it's like ding, like
exactly.
Point, you're 1,000.
Yeah, now you're 1,000 rated.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, H to the no. Because it's only going to take me like 2 tournaments to get back down to my 940.
Right. And then, like you were saying, like if you're 1,000 skilled rated player, you're just going to stay at 1,000. Like there's no way you're moving up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like you're just stuck.
Yeah, yeah. So now, if it was like the 1050 and you put me in the 1050 rated, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll take a punch to the face because I don't have to talk right to throw a disc.
Lining up putts with bad eyesight might hurt, but
yeah, true. You get it though. It's muscle memory.
Yeah.
Just putt hard, putt through it. Okay, so Jordan says, I want to say yes. Whatever. I want to say yes. But if it really came down to it, I might bail. But I would 100% let him choke me out until I'm unconscious in exchange for 1,000 rated. Yeah. That wasn't an option.
Rear naked choke.
I'd let someone choke me out for 1,000 rated. Yeah.
I'd just go limp. I'd just be like, yeah, you got me.
Could we tap out before we put choke out?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So play along at home. Or email us, throw@doordisc.com, and tell us what you think.
Doesn't Izzy do a lot of commentary now? Like, I don't know if he still fights a whole lot.
I don't know. I don't know enough.
Israel Adesanya. Oh, is he the last style bender? Is that his nickname? Israel Adesanya. I think he's a champion.
Yeah, he currently holds a belt from what I understand. Because I
think he fought recently too.
Yes.
So okay, I was thinking of another guy that I thought his name was Israel.
Did he just fight this weekend? Isn't that the one in Vegas?
No, the one this past weekend was Masvidal and
yes, that's where it was. Right.
Covington.
That's what I was thinking. Masvidal. That's how Jordan's yelling at us right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one. No, I would not take a punch or a kick by any professional fighter. I don't care who it is.
I'm gonna put that as a poll in our on the Spotify.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So if you listen on Spotify, I'll put that out, and we'll just see how many people vote. Because last time I put out a couple polls, no one really voted that much, but hopefully some people will do it.
Yeah. So if you're listening on Spotify, vote.
Yeah.
And let's see it. All right. So last and certainly not least, we have shop updates. doordisc.com. DOORDISC.com. So shop updates. We have gotten a crud ton of discs in recently. Mm-hmm. So much so that we actually physically don't have any room to display them in the shop anymore.
Crazy.
So it's awesome. I'm glad. I mean, it took us so long to get to that. And there's really not a brand that we're waiting on other than Castoplast, I think is the only one.
Okay.
But there's... I won't get into it. So we got a ton. So we have the Allen's first run.
The Proto Vortex.
The Proto, yeah. And we have the Protos. We have the Rift. We got the Falcors in. We got the sweet X5 stamps. Like, they're really awesome. We have...
That's a high-speed driver, right? But understable... Are the X's high-speed
The
drivers?
X5 is a high-speed understable driver.
Okay.
Then we have... And that's a 500 plastic.
Okay.
Then we had... Oh, my God. I mean, these lists goes on and on. We have the Agent. That's the new putter from DD. Okay. We got the first runs coming in. We got... Jeez, it just keeps going. The Disc Golf Answer Man Disc Withdrawal Trilogy should be in pretty soon. What else do we get? We got the new Ledgestone drop. So we have all of those Ledgestone discs. We got our Discraft restock, which had 2 Comets in it. I did not buy them, so they're still on the site. But if they're not off the site by the end of this weekend, I might end up buying them. I mean, just on and on. On and on. Like, just keep going. We got Quick Sticks. We got, I can't mention how much stuff we got in the last 2.5 weeks. Was that a fart?
No comment.
I was like, did he kick the table or was it it better not smell, JP.
Yeah, no promises.
Yeah, exactly. I He's casually drinking his vitamin water right now, by the way, trying to mask the smell.
How is that going to mask a smell? I'm drinking.
Do you not know about sinuses and how you drink?
Believe me, I know about sinuses. I'm chronically congested. So, yes, I know about sinuses and smell and taste, and I have none.
Zero.
I might as well not have,
No face.
Right.
No face. I was listening to Digital Underground when we were in Vegas. It happened to come on. I actually dropped Jordan off at the airport and I was driving back.
Yeah.
In Humpty. I was just like, I can't believe I did not know that those two were this. Yeah. Anyways. So that's the shop update. So there's a ton. So jump in. And we do have Zuka. We do have Zuka carts in stock. We will ship them. We can't sell them online because I don't want to pay the $10,000 to sell them online.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So we have to order $10,000 worth of product in order to sell them online. But we do have them all in stock. We've had them for quite a while. We even have those Riki Waisaki Ridge bags. I mean, on and on and on. We'll send anything. Keep an eye out for some discount codes. They're going to come up. And if you subscribe to our email list, we send them out all the time. And we just give you updates. We do it politely. I maybe send you get them, right?
Yeah.
I maybe send one a month, one every couple weeks.
Yeah.
When there's notable drops that come out, I'll send them out. And I think outside of that, I'm really not sure there's much else to chat about today.
I don't know. Let's keep talking about garbage cans.
Exactly. I got a new phone. And
I had 1,000 followers on Instagram the other day.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I was surprised.
Good for you.
Yeah.
We have went stale on Instagram, so follow, share, get other people to like. But that's awesome though. I'm super happy for you. I hope we get to that point. And other than that, just as a reminder, we are a Disc Golf Answer Man Network podcast. And other than that, have an awesome day. Keep us up par. Peace.